Hi, this is Angela Tellez, and this is my final project for Women's Studies 460 fall semester session B. Today I wanted to talk about two different areas that we discussed in class. I wanted to talk about social construction of gender, especially for children, and how we create these uh, ideas of what girls and boys should be like through their toys. And secondly, I wanted to talk about the sexualization or the sexual messages given to girls through the toys that are out there. First of all, let me give you a little bit of background. I come from a single parent family. My mother really gave me a hybrid of what we would call gender roles. She grew up as the dependable sibling, and so my grandfather really spent a lot of time with her, showing her how to help him fix cars, help him fix house, and she wore dresses and makeup and cooked, and so my example of gender was really intermixed. So as I've studied these classes and taken these classes and studied these subjects, it is very fascinating to me to see how we actually construct and create these categories in which we work through every day and we reinforce every day for boys and girls, men and women to live through. And then if we don't live that way, we treat them differently. They're not normal. They're out of abnormal, and then we treat them badly because of that. And so now we're starting to in this particular generation, we're starting to accept that people don't fit into categories anymore. So that is my background. So the idea of teaching children young what they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to act really makes me think about what we see and how we talk to people and how we interact with people and in the messages we send, especially for girls. Girls really are held to a different standard, and we'll talk about the different examples I found. I whipped through the stores and the ads, Black Friday shopping, to find some examples of how the messages we send and how we construct these gender roles. So when a child is born, it's typical. If it's a boy, we buy them blue things, and girl, it's pink. So we automatically categorize these children. And then once we categorize them, we start to treat them differently. So when boys are born, we're a little more rough with them. We handle them a little bit differently. You play with them more of a rough, because they're supposed to be tough and they're supposed to be able to handle it. And we don't allow them to cry, and they're not supposed to whine. And so we create these environments for them to be tough and to not show emotion and to be free to explore. Whereas when females or girls are born, we're a little bit softer. We talk softly to them and we treat them delicately, and we keep them, yes, they cry. That's their nature. Girls cry. And so we treat them a little bit differently, more of a touchy-feely, whereas boys were a little more rough, and you're not supposed to show emotion. Girls, it's okay. That's just them being emotional. And so we automatically categorize them. And so when we as a society don't see them performing the way we have created these categories, at that point we start to worry. And that's where toys come into play too. We playtime and toys. So when we see the boy going over to the Barbie section and wanting to play with Barbies, we're like, whoa, 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 that's not right. You're not supposed to be going. You're supposed to be playing with trucks. And so that's a way for us to identify quickly, you know, that the normal is not happening. Our triggers to move them in the right path is not happening. So if the boy wants to play with a Barbie, whoa, we got to move them over here and make them play with trucks. So that's our trigger as society. That's the society trigger to put them right back in their lane. So that's some of the toys. You know, if you look at the way that they're placed and the way the messages they send, you see that. And then vice versa for girls. You see a girl wanting to be a superhero for Halloween, or get a Captain America toy, and you're like, it's a little bit more acceptable, but it's not what society would necessarily approve of. So, you know, it's like, okay, ha ha ha, right? You really want to play with this doll over here. You know, you want the Captain America doll, not just the outfit. You know what I mean? So those are the messages we send to make sure that people are following what society has created for them. So I wanted to show some examples of where I've gone this couple weekend ago to show how we create these environments for them. Now, hopefully you can see these pictures. I did put them out. So this is at a Toys R Us at the mall, and I went into the boys section and then the girls section. So if you look at here, there's two pictures for the boys section, and this is the work trucks, fire trucks, and police vehicles here. So this messages, you know, to the boys that, you know, you are getting your hands dirty, you are about saving people, the responsibility of being in control, being the savior of society. So that's your role. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you look forward to in a career, is the superhero version of work. So, and then here's another row, and these are more complicated, or these are Lego toys. And so when we what we're doing is telling boys that these type of puzzles or these type of toys are more cognitive, problem solving, using problem solving skills that are a little bit more difficult versus some of the girls' toys. And to be fair, there was about one row somewhere up here that was a girls' section, but compared to everything else, you know, that one little piece was girls, and it was a Lego castle. So it wasn't a whole lot of, you know, an airplane, but, you know, again, those are the stereotypes that girls have to live with. So here's the girls section of the Toys R Us, and this has a little bit food, pots, pans. You can see an ironing board and a cleaning set. So I thought that was particularly funny that we're teaching girls we're teaching girls basically how to cook and clean and iron. And then you have the boys that have the let's save the world, let's save our society, and then cook and clean. So those are the messages we send to the little kids, girls and boys. Is girls are soft, boys are hard. So they're rough and they can interact roughly, where girls are a little bit more soft and you have to, it's just contained. So, here, this is the Disney store, and if you ever walk into the Disney store, you have the girl side and the boy side. And you can see again, the boy side, superheroes, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, the save the world type of environment, action, physical examples, physical play, where you have the girl side, which is all princesses, dress up, dolls, not so much action, more of an idea of finding a prince and getting saved, and then your life can begin. So those are, again, the hard and the soft. And so we're reinforcing these ideas to boys and girls, young kids, that boys play rough and girls have to be very demure and sit quietly and so forth. So here's a Walmart ad. This is the boys cars and superheroes again, and these are like these flying discs, so you're outside playing and being physical. And then here is the girl side, which is again cooking, castles or doll houses, and then a puppy. Just very quiet play, contained play, where boys are out being physical, being active, and girls are contained. So those are some examples of what I found and how we reinforce these roles of men being the aggressors, being the saviors, the heroes, and where women are the ones waiting to be saved, the homemakers, and not very active or physical. It's more of a contained environment that they live in, waiting, preparing for whatever, their husband, preparing for a married life, for lack of a better example. So those are ideas that we reinforced through play. And I believe it was one of our readings that we had Sharon Martin in Becoming a Gendered Body Practices in Preschools. Also, talks about how we reinforce these ideas of play and reinforce these ideas of gender through play, and how we react and interact with kids, about letting boys run around and be a little bit more loud and say that's their nature to be a little bit more active and be more disruptive, whereas girls, we contain. We expect them to be quiet, or we expect them to play in a contained environment, sit down and play with dolls, or sit quietly and play amongst each other, and boys can run around, and boys can go and be active with different things, and it's okay because that's what boys do, and girls cannot act like that and actually are disciplined or talked to in a way to contain them. So that's what the idea is, how we socially construct them to remain in their lane. And that's how gender is formed and gender is taught, and how it's socially constructed for us to reinforce these ideas, reinforce them by the way we talk to them, by the way we interact with them, by the way we see the world as his and hers, and not as ours, that it can be interchangeable, it can be a hybrid. And if it is a hybrid, it's okay. We don't see it that way. We have to draw the line. And that's what gets us into trouble when people don't fit into those particular lanes. So that's part one. Part two I wanted to talk about was the sexualization of toys and how they give these sexual messages to girls, especially young girls, and how they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to act and what they're supposed to think. So some of the other toys that I did find were, this is a classic example, are the Bratz collection. Oops, sorry. So these toys, they're a version or similar to Barbie toys. So we're looking at ages probably 4 through 10. So these messages, these girls up here are giving messages to these age groups that are saying you have to look pretty, you have to be exaggerated, you have to be sexual, lots of makeup, hair done, short skirts, short blouses, crop tops, and that's that kind of message that is popular, and that is normal, and that is fun. Hold on, let me get the pictures of some of the clothing on one of the boxes. So this is on one of the boxes. So you can see crop tops, short skirts, heels for your doll. Those are the types of clothes that are telling young girls, or that are saying to young girls, this is what you should be wearing if you want to be popular, if you want to be cute, or your doll to be cute, therefore the doll is a reflection of you, so for you to be cute. And here's a couple of examples of brat dolls. Now this is, oops, sorry. This is a study abroad, which I thought was funny because there are no books or anything. It's just more of a, I think this is the England one, so they have the English flag outfit, and nothing about school, nothing about that. It's just going to a different country and then looking cute. And then we have this one again, which is study abroad. And I can't tell the, the country, but again, short skirts, crop tops. And those are the messages we're sending to the little girl, saying that this is, if you want to be popular, this is what you're going to look like. Now, this is a DVD I found of a Monster High, and obviously it's supposed to be high school age girls, but look how much makeup, how done up they are. I'm trying not to say sexualized, but they're very much sexualized the way that they look. The main character is kind of like, very model-esque. Look at me. Very sexy look. And then you have them like super skinny, very non-ideal body types. Again, same with Bratz. Very skinny waist and long legs, and that is the same with Barbie. So these ideas of what you need to look like in order to be popular, in order to have a boyfriend, or to have, we're giving these girls grown-up messages. So the way that they're drawn, the way that they're dressed, that's more of a grown-up thought. And we're bringing those messages over to little girls and saying this is normal, this is fun, this is playtime for us. So again, it's the reinforcement of this is what you're supposed to be, this is how life is supposed to be. And when girls want to play dress up, it's heavy makeup, it's It's the crop tops. It's the big, heels and boots, which is okay, for a dress up session one time. But if you see that every day, that's just telling you that's normal, and that's sexualizing young kids to think adult behavior, adult dress, adult hair, makeup is normal. And we see that in today's society now, especially with like Instagram and what are not Snapchat, but there's like Tumblr and whatnot. You see younger girls sexualizing themselves because that they're trying to get the popularity aspect out of it, and they are trying to live this adult life at a very young age, and that's just messages that we're constantly sending that this is the way you should be, and especially when teenagers are following that trend, and you have little kids 6, 7 years old getting messages like this, that this is the way you're supposed to be if you want to be popular in high school. This is what you want to look like. This is what you aspire to be. So those are the type of messages. A couple things before I end is a couple perfume ideas that I thought were pretty funny. Was this One Direction perfume, and I wish I would have got the picture of the other one, but this is One Moment. So this is, selling to the teenage crowd that, oh, I can have one moment with One Direction. So this is the way advertisers use sex to sell to children, to say, oh, it could potentially be my boyfriend. I can have one moment if I buy this product. The other one was called You and I. So, it's this idea of being with somebody when they're not really mentally developed to think that way. So it's these messages. And just a quick side note, I wish I would have taken pictures of Party City at Halloween time. They have, if you've ever been to Party City on Halloween, they have this huge board of boys and girls costumes, men and women. And the girls' side is pretty much everything's in a little short skirt. Every version of a boy's costume is given to you in a girl's, but with a little short skirt. So that again is telling of how we create this vision of how girls should be. Girls should be in short skirts. There were, I think, out of maybe 50, 60 plus different costumes, only 4 had pants, and the rest of them were short skirts. And then if you looked at let's say for example, SpongeBob, the boys would be the square outfit, and the girls would be this really tight picture SpongeBob, and then a little skirt, brown skirt for his pants. So, that's a sexualization of boys versus girls. Boys can be what the character is supposed to look like, and girls have to be this really sexual, turned up version of the character. Captain America, Batgirl, all these different versions of these characters are sexualized, crop top, tight blouses, skirts, short shorts, in order to be a character for Halloween. So again, these messages that this is what a girl is supposed to look like. This is how you're supposed to dress. This is what is cute. This is what the character is. This is what SpongeBob looks like. No, that's not what SpongeBob looks like. He looks like a big square. So for you to be SpongeBob for Halloween is not this tight crop top shirt. So again, those are messages that we constantly send and constantly reinforce to kids and society, in general, that this is normal, and we reinforce. And as adults, we again see the kids acting a certain way, and we reinforce them to get back into their lane and act the way we're supposed to act. And don't cry, and don't talk out of turn. Stay in your lane. Okay, and then I think that's it. Well, thank you very much.